Right? All right, so good morning, everybody. We're going to play with all kinds of things today, but we're going to start seated. So find yourself nice and comfortable, kind of snuggle into your yoga mat, and then sit up really tall, right? So you want to feel that spine get nice and long, feel the tailbone. Uh, Move down toward the mat, the chest rises up, the shoulders go to the side body, right? So we're not hunched over and rounded over, we're moving the shoulders to the side body. And then the head comes straight up from there. So we feel like our whole spine is in this nice alignment. And then if you're comfortable, close your eyes and start to feel your breath as you take an inhale in. And as you exhale, let it go. Good, and just inhale in. And exhale it out. So for our breathing practice this morning, we're just going to do a little bit of pranayama. And it is a breath that is called, it's basically 4-7-8. Which means that you're going to inhale to the count of 4. You're going to hold your breath, if you can, for the count of 7. And then you're going to exhale really slowly down to the count of 8. It is a breath that calms the nervous system and kind of brings you back into focus. So you do your best. It's going to be your count. I'll do the first couple of counts to get used to it, but then it's your count. So if you need to take a breath, take a breath. All right, so here we go. Inhale, count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then do your count. Inhaling and pausing. Exhale. Good. 3 more full rounds. Inhaling. Last round, everybody. And exhale. And let your eyes open up. If they were closed, take your hands out to your sides. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, right to your heart. Interlace your hands, press them out and round back. So curl back, tuck your chin. And then as if somebody is pushing your hands away from you, let the arms push in front of you and then lift up, lift up, lift up. Exhale, curl it in, curl it in, curl it in. And reach up. Big deep breath, inhale, exhale, curl it in. And inhale, take it up. Exhale, curl it in. And last one, inhale. Exhale, curl. Good, and then take the arms up, separate those hands, take your left hand down, reach your right arm over, I'm mirroring here. And breathe, stretch it out. Inhale, take the arms up, switch sides. And stretch, getting our side body warmed up. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, reach it over. Pause here. I want you to take, I'm mirroring here, so take your right hand and reach it back over to the side. Turn it around so the palm is facing back behind you. And then wrap your arm behind your back. And when you do that, that right shoulder is going to draw back in space. And then maybe drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Whoo, nice little stretch, right? Stretching out the side of the neck. Make sure the right shoulder is staying back and not rounding forward. And then take the head back up where it used to be. Take the arm up, reach up to the ceiling. Take your other arm up, exhale, other side. So pause here, the shoulder is relaxed. Notice it, right? Press down through your left hip. Take that top arm, reach it out to the side, turn it around to the back, and then reach behind you, open up the left shoulder, drop the ear down to the right shoulder. Just stretching out, right? Especially when we've been sleeping and our neck gets all stiff on our pillows. Good, take the head back up. Release that arm, reach it up to the ceiling. Take the other arm up. Exhale, both arms down, and then roll your shoulders. And take both arms out to the sides. Turn your palms up. Curl your fingers, curl your wrists, and then curl your arms really strong, like you've got Popeye arms. Really squeeze in. And then keep that curl of your wrist. Keep it curled. Straighten the arms out, straighten the wrists, open your fingers, draw your shoulders back, and then internal rotation, rolling the shoulders forward, external rotation, rolling them back. Good, there you go. Open and close, right? Just starting to move through the shoulders, finding our breath. That's it, a couple more right here. And then turn the palms up. Take your left arm up to the ceiling. Take your right hand behind your back. So maybe you can feel your fingers on the other side of your waist, right? So you're here, and then bend that top arm and pat yourself on the back. Maybe walk those bottom fingers up and see if you can touch your fingers. If you can't, don't worry about it, right? So maybe you can touch the fingers, maybe not. If you can't touch your fingers, your hands are just resting on your back, or you can use a strap for sure. And then feel this, right? So this is cow face arms. Drawing both shoulders back, trying not to overarch in your back, just stretching out those arms. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale it out. And then release those arms, take them right back out to the sides and feel that. When you're ready, we're going to go to the other side. Take your right arm up, take the left arm and turn it back, and then reach behind you. So here we are, fingers are pointing out to the other side again. Take your top arm, pat yourself on the back. Usually one side's a little trickier than the other. And then see if the fingers will walk up the back. Maybe the fingers touch, maybe not. Stretching out the front deltoid on one side and stretching out the tricep muscle on the other side. Big deep breath. Good, one more, just stretch. And then release both arms, take them both out to the side, turn your palms down and let them go. And then roll out your shoulders, everybody, and straighten your legs. Good, shake those legs out. They've been straight or they've been kind of bent for a while for most of us, so straighten them up. Sit nice and tall, press your hands to the floor, open up your shoulders, Dandasana or staff pose, right? So the legs are fired up. You should feel those thigh muscles really engaging, those quadricep muscles really engaging. Draw the shoulders back, tone that belly in a little bit, and lift one leg. Just lift one leg. Just feel that. It's like, holy moly, right? And no matter how many times I do this, it's like, wow, good. Optionally, you're going to take the arms up, find your breath, breathe, bend that knee. See if you can reach your foot. If you can't, don't worry about it. Some of you with some knee stuff, If you can't grab your foot, grab behind your knee. So if you've got your foot, straighten that foot up to the ceiling. Woo, draw the shoulders back, squeeze through your belly. Don't let your back collapse. You got it. And then see if you can let go of the foot. And slowly lower it down, lower those arms, shake out the legs. Good. So starting again, staff pose. The hands are down at your sides, your shoulders are rolled back. You might be on fingertips too, depends on how long your arms are. Take the other leg up, press down through the leg that's still on the floor, right? Woo! Holy moly. Take the arms up, right? That makes it a little bit harder right there. And then bend the knee, grab somewhere on your leg, behind your knee, your shin, or maybe your foot. Take that foot up to the ceiling, pull, you'll almost pull back on it a little bit to bring those shoulders back down. Find that and then see if you can let go. And slowly lower down, lift up really tall. Exhale, let it go. Roll your shoulders out. And then bend that first leg again. I realized I didn't say which side. So you just go back to that first leg and step over the other leg. Lift up really tall. Make your spine as long as you can. Make your torso, right, as tall as you can. And then take your, so whichever leg you've bent, take your opposite arm, wrap it around your knee, and then reach back behind you with the other hand, coming into a seated twist. Oh, yeah. So, and just kind of notice, maybe you look over one shoulder and then you look over the other shoulder. Again, stretching out your neck if it feels kind of tight this morning. And breathe. And then take your head back to center. Lift your torso really tall. Listen up. This is going to be a little tricky. Ground down through that long leg. You're going to grab your other leg with that opposite hand. You're either going to grab your foot, your shin, or your knee, and you're going to straighten the leg again. But this time it's across the body. Take your other arm up. Good. Breathe. Lift really tall. Press down through the leg that's on the floor. You got it. Find your pose, and you know what's coming, right? See if you can let go. Breathe, really press that leg, take it center, lower it down, lift up super tall. Exhale, let it go. Roll your shoulders. Why is my stomach growling? I did eat breakfast. Like it's going, feed me. Okay. So you're going to go with the other leg, roll the shoulders back, lift that leg, bend it, place it on the floor, and then step over the other leg. Lift up super tall. Take the arms up. Take that arm, wrap it around your knee, and take your other hand behind, coming into a seated twist here. Feel this long leg really grounded to the floor. Feel your spine twisting. Again, maybe you turn the head to look over one shoulder and then the other. Just getting some movement in those rotational muscles. That's it. And start to release the twist. Take the head center, right? We remember what we're going to do. We're going to take that hand to that foot. We're going to see, or the knee, and we're going to see if we can lift up. If you're there, then take the other arm up. If you need more balance, the hand stays down. Find your pose, find your stretch. I know. And then see if you can let go. And take it center and let it go. Sit up really tall. Exhale, let it go. Good. Roll it out, everybody. I think we're pretty warmed up. Let's come to table pose. So table pose, you're on your hands and your knees. Whew. And you're spreading your fingers out. Your knees are right underneath your hips. And start a few cats and cows. So when you take your spine up to the ceiling, it's like a cat on a windowsill. And then as you release, you let your belly come toward the floor, like a little cow, a little sway back cow, and move. So your tailbone moves, your back moves, your shoulders, your head moves as we warm up our spines. That's it. Couple more. Exhaling. Good, last one. Open it up. And exhale, curl it all back in, and then come to a nice neutral spine. Take your right foot back, right foot back. Well, as soon as you take that right foot back, you want to take your belly and draw it back in, lift your right leg off the floor. Your toes are pointing down to the floor. We're finding that nice balance here. One, you're going to stay here, or two, the left arm is going to come out, balancing table. Find your breath. Little bit of core work here, optional. You're going to take your left elbow to your right knee, bring it into the center. Let's do that for 5. Reach out and squeeze it in. Out, squeeze in. Yep. And out. 2 more, squeeze and press. 1 more, squeeze and then press. Let the left hand come down. Turn your toes out to the side. So your right toes, you're turning them out to the side, and then you're going to move that leg all the way to the side where your hip is, and put that foot on the floor. Press your foot into the floor, walk your hands up, and come up to gate pose. So you notice, right, that right leg is straight out from your hip. Your foot is grounded, even if you can't see my foot. Inhale, reach up. Squeeze through your belly, take your right hand down your right leg and stretch over to the side. And breathe. I think your shirt's inside out, Lynn. The words are backwards. Good, everybody breathe, just stretch. Good, take the arms up. Exhale, your hands come back to the floor. Walk your hands out so you're more in that table shape. Lift the leg if you can. Take it straight back, turn the toes down, and release that knee. I'm going to turn around, otherwise I'm going to hit the wall. So when you're ready, press the left leg back, tone the belly in, lift the leg. You should feel your glute muscle work, right? You should feel those hip and glute muscles engage when we do this. Once you're ready, take the right arm out, find your breath, and let's do 5 knee to elbow. 1 and 2. Find your breath. 3, you got it. And 4 and 5. Squeeze, let the hand come down, turn the toes out to the side, slide that leg outside the hip, drop the foot to the floor, walk your hands up, and then come up tall. So here we are again, that leg is straight out from the hip. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, left hand slides down the leg. Make sure you're not putting a lot of pressure on that outer knee, right? You shouldn't be putting any weight there to speak of. So your hand is either above your knee or it's below your knee. Stretch out that side body. Oh, that should feel good. And inhale the arms up. Exhale, hands come to the floor. Walk them back out. Lift the leg if you can. Take it out back and turn the toes down. Release your knee. Good job, everybody. And then from here, let's flip our toes under, downward facing dog. So downward facing dog is kind of like a big, tall mountain, right? The hips are the peak of that mountain. You're pressing through both hands and both feet so that it's pretty equal from the hips to the hands and the hips to the feet. Maybe pedal the feet out, maybe stretch them out here a little bit. Feel your arms engage, feel your back body engage. And then from down dog, come to plank and breathe. Drop your knees to the floor, drop down to your elbows. Once you're on your elbows, interlace your hands. And then either stay in this half plank or lift your knees back up to full elbow plank. Don't let your hips sink, right? Keep those hips strong. Keep the legs strong. Press out of your shoulders. Press into your hands and breathe. And then lower your knees to the floor. Lower your belly to the floor. Separate your hands and come into Sphinx Pose. And once you're in Sphinx Pose, just maybe sway a little bit side to side. When I sway side to side here, I actually feel a nice stretch through my belly. You might feel that, you might not. So just kind of warming up, stretching through the front body. And then take it back to center. Now we're going to reverse what we just did. So your hands are here. You're going to interlace the hands. You're going to press into your hands, your forearms, press into your knees, come to half plank. From half plank, you're going to come to full plank and breathe. Now, here's the hard part, and this is optional. If you can, I want you to press into one hand and then the other and come to down dog. If that was no way, no how, drop to your knees, come back into your hands, and then find down dog. Big deep breath. Lower to your knees, everybody. We're going to do a little movement here. Go right to right leg, left arm. Comes out. Good. Knee to elbow. 1, 2, 3. 2 more. 4, 5. Lower it down. Downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet. Find your pose. Here we go again, plank pose. Now, optional, knees down and then elbows. That is the easiest, or drop to elbows here. A little harder, make sure you have lots of control. Elbow plank, squeeze your belly. Fire up your legs, everybody. Woo! That's it, come on. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And then press into one hand. Remember, drop the knees if needed. Press into your other hand. Find plank pose. Find down dog. Woo. Use your breath. Lower down to your knees. Go right to balancing table. Left leg, right arm. And then 5 of them here. 1 and 2. And 3, you got it. And 4. And 5. Good job, everybody. Press back into child's pose or seated hero pose. And take a breath, maybe circle out your wrists. I can see we got some wrist things going on. Shake them out. So when we're talking about strengthening the upper body, right? We never just do the upper body. I mean, in what we just did, we did legs, we did core specifically, we did upper body, back, arms, all that stuff. So we want to try to find that strength going through our bodies in all of our poses. So I want you to grab one block. We're going to stick with upper body, and then we're going to kind of let that go and come higher. So if you have a block, put a block at the highest level, kind of just a little bit back from the top of your mat. Now, my granddaughter is out there. You can stack your pillows there instead, okay? Because you're a little closer to the ground. So that helps. And then place your hands in front of your block so that that block is right about where your chest level is. I want you to squeeze your elbows towards each other. Don't let them go out to the sides. And then just tap down from half plank, tap on your block for 5. 1, 2, don't let the elbows out. 3, 4, 5, listen up. If you're in half plank and you can, bring the feet back to the floor, come to full plank. We're not going to touch the block. We're just going to hold for strength. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower your knees. Whew. And maybe sit back a little bit. Little child's pose. Stretch out your back. I know. And then come on up. So if you have your block, lower it down to the second level. If you have a bunch of pillows stacked up or blankets stacked up, maybe take 1 or 2 of those out of the way. Come to half plank. So this pose in and of itself, I always cross my ankles. That feels better on my knees. But some of you might be with your feet on the floor. The thing about half plank and half plank is your hips. Don't let your hips just kind of sink to the floor, okay? Squeeze in through the inner elbows, open up your shoulders. Let's see if we can do a tap of 5. So 1, 2, 3, yep, 4, and 5. Push up if you can. Come back off your knees for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower your knees. Take a break. See, we were talking about strength before class started, and this is what you get. Right? But really important. And if your wrists are chatty, right, just give them a good shake, give them a good circle. Sometimes they can get a little cranky in the morning. All right, we have one more here, everyone. Now, some of my strong guys out there, strong gals out there, maybe you don't need to be on knees, but if you're coming down through chaturanga without knees and without block, please don't sink in here. I like the block. It gives me kind of a target to make sure that my hips aren't sinking faster than my chest. All right, so your block is down low. We got 5 and then we're done. On knees, squeeze your belly button in, draw your shoulders nice and wide. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3, squeeze, 4, squeeze, 1 more, 5, squeeze. Take your knees off the floor if you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower your knees and set your block aside, shake it out. Now, my regular students out there, you know, if sitting like this with your knees hurts, you of course won't be doing that. You can sit any way you want. And then just rub your hands together. Rub, 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 rub. Interlace your hands, circle your wrists. Those babies, I tell you, they can get really sore. And then shake them out. Good. And then come to table pose again. This time you're going to take your right foot forward. If you have your blocks, I didn't cue that. Let me go get my other block. You have your blocks, you can go ahead and use those. If you don't worry about it, okay? Press your back foot into the floor. Take your hands to your knee. And then kind of get a sense for you where you are. Is your low back like really swaying, like it feels a little too tight? If it does, just tone in the belly a little bit. It depends on where you're flexible and where you're not, or where your body has a natural tendency to go. So we just want to be kind of mindful of that. As we stretch into this lunge, take the arms up. Find your breath, soften your shoulders. Find your focus point. I was talking to a student the other day and she said, I get distracted very easily. So I want you instead to tune in kind of to your body. What's happening, right? As we hold this lunge, right? Do you feel a little wobbly or do you feel sturdy? Can you take your front heel and pull it back isometrically, right? So that engages the muscles more. Take your left hand to your right knee. Take your right hand to your sacrum and twist to the right. Find your breath. Feel the stretch on the back leg, right? Little stretch of that thigh muscle. Our front bodies get super tight. Our back bodies tend to get overstretched. So we want to stretch those front bodies where we can. All right, release the hands, take them up. Exhale, your hands can come to your blocks or to the floor. Just press both hips back and switch knees or switch feet, I guess, and knees, right? So your left leg is forward, your right leg is back. You're on your right knee, and here we are again, right? So as we take our hands to our knees on this side, what's happening in our bodies. Little bit of a tone to the belly is really helpful. We feel this nice stretch, that back leg getting a stretch right along the front of the thigh. Take the arms up. Soften the shoulders. Find your breath. That's it. And then take your right hand to your knee. Take your left hand to your sacrum and twist to your left. Maybe draw that front heel back isometrically, right? So that you feel the legs working a little bit more. Make sure the tailbone is nice and long so you're not overarching in the back. And take the arms up. Exhale your hands to your blocks. Slide your left knee back. Move your blocks out of the way if you were using them. Come on down to your elbows. Now, elbow work, right, can be a little bit tricky because we don't want to collapse in the shoulders. So if we're down on our elbows, we don't want to just kind of drop down, if that makes sense to you. Instead, we want to make it nice and broad through the back of the body. Your elbows are the same distance apart as your shoulders. Press into your hands, tone your belly, flip your toes under, lift your knees off the floor. So this is called Dolphin Pose. It's a lot like downward facing dog, only on your elbows. But make sure you're pressing from your elbows to your pinky fingers, right? So that you're not just putting all that weight on your elbows. And then feel your back body go super wide, shoulder to shoulder, nice and wide. Your muscles are engaged. You're finding this easier version of this pose. And then tippy toes, drop down to your knees, press into your hands, come back to table pose. Flip toes under, downward facing dog. Stretch it out, everybody. And just notice, right, back of the legs are getting a little bit more stretch, a little bit longer. Take your feet to the edges of your mat. Walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Bend your knees, take your hands to your knees, lift your head, your chest, and then press all the way up. Woo, and roll it out, just shake it out. There you go. So we're going to play with the strap in a minute if you have a strap. And again, props are always optional. You can do whatever, for the most part, whatever we're doing without it. But we're going to start with this idea, this concept of standing in mountain pose. Shoulders are back. Take the arms in front of you. You don't need the strap just yet. And pull the shoulders back, right? So you're here, you're going to pull the shoulders back. And then I want you to pretend you have a ball between your hands. I want you to squeeze the ball. And feel the muscles that have to work for you to pretend squeeze the ball. It's like, oh, it's right there, right? And you can feel it, and you can feel the chest muscles engage. And then take the arms out to the sides, take them up overhead. Once they're overhead, squeeze the ball. Yeah, so we were playing a little bit with this at the park class yesterday or Friday, and it's amazing how you can feel that. So really press the ball, like really make those upper back muscles work. And then take the arms behind you, the palms face each other, keep them separate, squeeze the ball and breathe and feel those middle back muscles engage, right? So it's like, oh yeah. All right, so one more time, take them forward, pull it back, squeeze the ball. Legs should be active, by the way. Don't just kind of hang out with your hip to one side, right? Keep the legs active. Take those arms overhead, squeeze your ball. Find your breath. Take the arms behind you, squeeze that ball, lift your chest and breathe. And then shake it out. So if you have a strap, I didn't cue this in the beginning and I should have, put your strap in a loop, okay? And that loop is going to be about shoulder width apart. And I want you to take the arms in front of you, pull the shoulders back, and squeeze against your strap. So that strap is, right around where your wrists are, but not right at the creases, so that you have something to push against. And breathe. And it'll be amazing to you how quickly these arms tire out. So first we were squeezing an imaginary ball using different muscles. Now we're pressing away like we were pressing against two walls, and we feel the back body work. You feel this, everybody? Yeah. And then take the arms up, keep pressing against the strap. Breathe, 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 breathe. You got it. Take it in front of you, right? So just a little tricky move. Take one arm out, take that strap behind you, put your hand back in, and press against your strap. And feel the differences in the way the body works, whether we're pressing out or pushing in. And release it and shake it out. Good. Set your strap aside. Keep that loop in your strap, by the way, if you have it, okay? Because we're going to use that in a little bit. Come back to the front of your mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Step back with your right leg. So this time, either your knee is up or your knee is down. It's up to you. Squeeze the upper inner thighs towards each other. Take the hands to your knee. Lift up your chest. Squeeze your back glute. Take the arms up. Now remember that knee can be down on the floor, right? For more stability, find your breath. Now, 1, you're here. 2, your right hand comes to your knee, your left hand comes to your sacrum. So a high twist. 3rd option, your hands come to your heart. You lean forward and take elbow to knee and twist to the left. Make sure you're firing up your legs. Make sure your legs are wide enough. We're feeling the work on that front leg, but make sure you're pushing into the back leg as well. All right, wherever you are, release your twist. Take the arms up. Woo. Exhale down to the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. Find your breath. Squeeze those upper shoulders. Plank pose. Big, strong pose, everybody. Listen up. 1, you're here. 2, you're coming down to your elbows. Interlace your hands. Take your hips up. Dolphin pose. You can walk your feet up. Press into your full forearms. Use your breath here. That's it. Walk the feet back out. You're back to plank. Remember to drop the knees optionally here. Push into one hand. Push into the other hand. That's a lot of work, right? Down dog. I know. Look through your hands. Step forward, right leg. Step forward, left leg. Inhale all the way up. Exhale to your heart. Shake out those hands, shake out those shoulders. Just amazing. I wonder if my granddaughters are still with me. Find your breath, shake it out, everybody. All right, let's do the other side. All right, so here we go. Arms up. Exhale, forward fold. You're going to step back with your left leg. Make sure your pose is wide enough. And then remember, your knee can come to the floor or not. Squeeze those upper legs towards each other. Hands come to knee. Lift your chest. Take the arms up. Breathe. Squeeze through that back glute. Make sure your back glute is active. Good. And then remember your options, right? 1, your knee is up or down. 2, it's hand to knee, little less of a twist. Or 3, your hands come to your heart. You bring the elbow down to your knee. Press that knee against your elbow. And breathe. Keep reaching into the back foot. I know. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Release your twist. That's the hard part. Take the arms up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Downward facing dog. If you've had enough of this, you can stay right here. Or last one, plank. Down to elbows. Breathe. To dolphin, which means the feet walk up, the hips lift up. Press all the way through your arms. Find your breath, everybody. And then lower your knees to the floor. Oh. Release child's pose or sit up in hero pose. And find your breath. And pick any pose that makes sense for your knees. Just breathe. So when we talk about strength, and especially as we are getting older, what we're looking for is functional strength, right? I want to be able to pick up something that I need to pick up, whether it's groceries or something on the floor. I need to be able to walk, to motivate, get in and out of the car, and feel good physically. So that all of this stuff we're doing, this functional strength to keep these shoulders strong, to work with our push-pull muscles, as well as the legs, right? So it all makes sense in the body. All right, so from wherever you are, let's come back to standing. So do it in a good yogi way, right? If I was here, I'd probably come to table pose, to down dog, right? That's your yogi way. And then maybe walk the hands back and press up. And roll your shoulders. All right, so grab one of your blocks. If you have it, if you don't have a block, you have a towel or a pillow or nothing. I don't know if the pillow will work for this one for the girls. All right, and then take that block between your legs. You're taking it at the narrowest setting. And then find mountain pose. So what's that mean? Your feet are pointed straight ahead. You're squeezing your block. This is just some balance work. And I have fun with this, so we're going to do it today. So as you squeeze that block, you're going to lean into, I'm going to mirror here, but you're going to lean into your left leg and see if you can lift your right leg off the floor and then take the arms out. Maybe one arm is down, one arm is up. Find that, but you're squeezing that silly block, right? And breathe. And your arms can go anywhere you want. You're using them like you're on a tightrope and you're squeezing. And then let go. When you're ready, once you're back to center, switch to the other side. Press into your standing foot, squeeze your block. See if you can lift your other foot off the floor, even if you're doing like a toe down, toe up. And then you're going to use the arms to find the rest of your balance. Good. Breathe. Woo. And lower. Take your block. If that was okay, you can stay there, or take your block and go to the second width. Gets harder to put that block there the wider we go. Some of my girls have done this with me before. I want you to squeeze that block. Right, as soon as you squeeze that block, you should feel how it kind of widens through your pelvis. All right, here we go. You're going to lean into one foot. You're going to consider it, and you're going to see if you can get that foot off the floor. Take the arms up to help find your balance. So we know one of the secrets to balance is finding a spot in front of you, usually on the floor, that isn't moving, right? It's called your focus point, your drishti. Squeeze the block and lower. Shake it out. Shake it out. Woo. And let's go to the other side. So squeeze block, lean. See that leg starting to get really nice and light, and then see if you can lift it off the floor. That's it. Whoop. Breathe. Right? Where is it for you? How's it feel? And lower down. Good. option. See if you can go wide with your block. That is not going to work for everybody. It is hard. It's like kind of like getting on a horse, right? It's not going to be as high. It feels really weird. Just do what you can. If not, go second with, go first with, or just don't use a block. Your feet are as forward as they can be. Lean into that one leg. Start to come to your tippy toe. And then see if you can get that leg off the floor. Woo, squeeze your block. Find your pose. Breathe. It's kind of like the weirdest five-pointed star, right? Five-pointed star is a pose. This is a kind of a crooked one. And drop down. Woo! All right, other side. Lean over. See if you can find it. Lift the foot off the floor. Squeeze your block. It's going to actually help you. That's it. And let go. Whew. Take that silly block out. Shake your legs. Holy moly. I know. It's like, whoo, get some blood flow back in there. And then come back to your mountain pose. Roll your shoulders back. Lean into that first leg and just take the other leg out to the side. Maybe your hands come to your hips or they're out here to help with balance. And notice that. And then take your toes and point them off to the side. Bend your knee, come to tree pose. Fire up the standing leg, everybody. Make sure it's not pressing out to the side. Take your hands to your heart. Goodness gracious, my tree's wobbly today. Press your leg into your foot into your leg. Maybe take the arms up. That's it. Right, so there's the calm. Try to find the calm. Hands to heart. Listen up. You're going to release. Turn them out. Turn them in. Let them go. Ooh, shake it out. All right. We got one more side. One more side. Find mountain pose, right? Always one side, not always, but often one side a little trickier than the other. You can always be near a wall, near a piece of furniture. Stand tall. Lean into that other leg. Lift the other off the floor, right? We've already been here. And then turn the toes out. And then come into tree pose. Hands come to heart. And breathe. It's just a wobbly tree. Good. When you're ready, maybe the arms come up, maybe not. Maybe they stay closer to heart. Make sure you're engaging that standing leg and that standing glute butt muscle, right? Whew. Not hanging today. Okay, there we go. Find calm. And then bring your hands to your heart. Release, see if you can kick it out. Turn it in and let it go. Woo, shake it out. Holy moly. All right, and we're gonna come back to our mats, and this is where we're gonna use the blanket or something slippery like your socks, okay? But first, let's come to the floor. So stay there. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come on down, step back, downward facing dog. And then come to plank if you can. Let's just work that one more time. Come on down to elbows. And then come on down to your belly. Right, not so bad. And I'm just gonna fold my mat back so that I can get my blanket in view. So if you have your blanket or you have your socks or paper plates work really good, right? So you're just gonna take your forearms to the tips of your fingers and put them on your blanket. If you're just using your socks, which I love that idea, that'll work perfect too. Now, make sure, right? We're still in a back bend here. So you do want to have good form. You're pressing in your low belly a little bit. Your tops of your feet are on the floor. But where I want to focus, ooh, strap. We'll do one round without the strap. Where I want to focus is the backs of the arms that we don't work very much, called the tricep muscle. So you're here, you're going to press elbow to hand, elbow to fingers into your blanket or your socks, and then slide out until you're down on your belly. Try not to let your elbows splay out to the side. Keep the backs of the elbows toward your blanket or the floor or your mat, and then push into your blanket and just slide back up to Sphinx Pose. Let's just do 4 more of those. So 1, squeeze it up. Like the squeeze up is the work, okay? And down. This is 2, squeeze, press it out. Like pretend this is hard. Like it's not sliding easy. And some of your surfaces, they might not be sliding easy. So it's more work. Good. Let's do 2 more. Squeeze in, squeeze out, squeeze in and hold, and then just lift your elbows off the floor. Don't let them splay out. Betty, take the hands wider. There you go. And then bring the elbows in. Ah, good. That's it. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. Good. And then I'm going to leave your strap as optional. To use your strap, you're going to have to just come on up again. And you're going to take the loop. I was playing with this the other day and I taught it on Wednesday. And I love it because it totally shifted the work for the backs of the arms. So you're going to take your loop and you're going to put your arms through it. And the strap is going to be above your elbows. So to the shoulder side above the elbows, okay? So that you can bend your elbows and it's in the upper arm. And then you're going to come back down to your belly with your strap there. Now, if the strap is too wide, it's not going to work. If it's too narrow, it'll feel like it's too narrow. You want to be able to separate the elbows enough, and Lynn, lower your strap way down to your elbows. You want to be able to press against your strap, okay? And then press into your blanket, hold the belly in, lengthen your tailbone, and let's do 5 more here. Slide out, slide in. So the strap comes to play here. When we slide in, the elbows can't go out to the sides. So here we go. Down, push to squeeze back. And down, squeeze for 3. Squeeze for 4. And squeeze for 5. And then lift the elbows off the floor a little bit. Just a little bit. Keep them bent. Keep the elbows towards each other. And lower down. Shake it out. All right, final one here. You're going to press your blanket out so that just your hands are on your blanket, okay? And the strap is there or not. If you're not using a strap, don't worry about it. You're going to push your hands into your blanket and you're going to pull back. Now, when you pull back here, chances are your elbows may be off the floor, okay? That's normal. And then spread out slow. Inhale, squeeze it in. Exhale, slow. Don't just slide out. Down you go. Good. Let's do 4 more. Squeeze it in. Exhale, slow. Don't forget to breathe. Push. Squeeze it in. You notice how the hands are harder than the full arm? Slowly let it go. 2 more. Squeeze it in. Like you can't get this blanket to you fast enough, but then you're going to go slow out. Here we go. Last one. Squeeze it in. There you go. Slow. Woo. and let go. And take that strap out. And find your breath. And maybe slide your blanket back. Just shake out your hips, maybe bend your knees, windshield wiper your legs. Good. And then place your hands on your blankets so that it's more or less under shoulders, which might be a little tricky. And you can even put it on your mat. Like your blanket could come on the mat because we're not sliding. It's more cushion than anything. And then hands under shoulders. Press your shoulders toward your side. Press into your hands. Come into a low cobra. Low, lower, lower. Yes, I want the arms to work, right? You should feel this. And Betty, elbows in. Oh, yes, it's much harder. And then take it down an inch. Feel the backs of the arms. Take it down an inch. Take it down an inch. Find that spot where you can take your hands off your blanket and breathe. And then lift the legs, optional. Press the hands back, palms face up, locust pose. Pretend that you're flying. Take right arm forward. Bring it back. Take the left arm forward. Take it back. Press the hands up to the ceiling. We're almost done, everybody. Reach that chest up and lower down. Bend your knees. Woo. Shake it out. And then roll over to one side and let your arm make a little pillow. Your knees are bent. Ooh, you can use your blanket too. It's probably pretty close by. You could use your blanket for your head. I know, you hear all these sighs in the room. Oh, and just breathe for a moment. So back bends, right, can have our low backs chatty, but usually it'll settle down once we settle down. So you're going to have your knees bent and you're going to take your top leg and just set it out in front of you, in front of that hip. Breathe. And then you're going to take the bottom leg and straighten it down to the end of your yoga mat. Flex your feet. 1, you're going to stay right here. 2, you're going to take that bottom shoulder and you're going to kind of slide it out to the side and you're going to open up to a twist. If that is too much for you, keep the right side, that right arm, closer to your body. It'll be less of a twist, okay, but still a twist. So breathe. Some of you are going to be able to touch your big toe with your hand. Some of you are not. Don't worry about it. Just breathe. If that is still too much of a twist for you, you're going to take the top leg and you're just going to bend it, okay? And that'll take a lot of that pressure off if it's a little too deep for you. And then just start to settle down a little bit. Just start to chill a little bit, right? We're bringing the heart rate down. We're bringing the breath down. That's it. If you happen to be holding your toe, let it go. Bend your knee, bend both knees, and release that top arm back to the side. I'm going to turn over, otherwise I won't have room, but you're going to turn around so that we can do the other side, or turn over if you're close to a wall. So here we are again. Bend your knees. I'm on my right side. I know I didn't cue that on the other side. So whatever side you're on, you're just switching. You're going to take the top leg and press it out in front of you. Straight leg or bent knee, whichever works better. You're going to take the bottom leg and straighten that down to the top of your mat. Find your breath. And either you're going to stay here or you're just going to kind of shimmy toward your back body, open it up, find your pose. Maybe you can hang on to your big toe, maybe not. Find your breath. Maybe you feel a nice little stretch for your chest here, right? We did a lot of chest work with all the planks and the elbow to hand stuff. That's all a lot of chest work, a lot of shoulder work. Deep breath. If you've got a hold of your toe, let it go. Bend the knee, bend the other knee. Bring that top arm back and around. Pause for a second. And then come on to your back. Onto your backs here. Your shoulders are nice and wide, so they don't feel all scrunchy. They're nice and wide. The back body is nice and wide. Your feet are on the floor. And all I want you to do here is pretend that you're going to move your heels back to your hips, but you're not going to actually move them, right? So isometric move, you're just going to pull them back and hold. A little bit of hamstring engagement here. And feel that, and then feel your legs are hips width apart. You're pulling back on your heels. Your hands can be down at the sides of your mat. And as you pull back with those heels, I want you to lift the hips up off the floor. Just a little low bridge. You're not going to go real high today. And keep pulling back, and you'll notice as you pull the heels back, you can even lift the rest of your feet off the floor for to get that real sense. You can feel how the hamstrings engage the backs of the legs, so the front of the legs are more willing to open into a bridge pose of your choice. Feel the outer hips engage as well. You're not over squeezing your butt, right? But you're just engaging the outer hips to help support your pose. And then slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time, spread out through your back. Take your left leg up to the ceiling, left leg up to the ceiling. Externally rotate the leg so that the toes are pointing out, and then bend the knee, put your ankle on your other knee. So figure 4, draw the knees toward your chest, flex your foot, and pause. So stretching out all that stuff we just did, maybe you rock a little bit side to side. And notice that as you rock to one side, you get a little bit more hip stretch, right? So as I rock more toward the right, my left hip is getting more stretch. Just rock it. And then 1, you're going to stay here. 2, you're going to cross your knees, one on top of the other, like you're sitting in a chair. 3, you're going to walk your hands down your shins, and you're either going to stop at your ankles or you're going to grab the outsides of your feet and come to cow face legs. So we did cow face arms in the beginning. And at the end of class, we're doing the leg portion. Find your breath. That's it. Try to relax your upper body. If you're overreaching for your feet, then I would grab shins instead so that you're not overreaching with the arms. The upper body should be really soft, really comfortable. You're feeling a stretch along that top knees hip for most of us. Big deep breath. Good. Release the hands, come back to figure 4. Lower that foot to the floor, release your left leg. And then let's go to the other side. Take the right leg up, Turn the toes out. You're actually turning that whole leg out. And then bend the knee, ankle to knee. Draw the knees up toward your chest. Flex your feet. Maybe rock a little side to side. That's it. And notice if you rock a little bit more to the left, that outer right hip gets a little more stretch. You might not need more stretch, right? It might be plenty enough just to be in a regular figure four. And taking those knees back to center, either you're going to stay here, you're going to cross the knees one on top of the other. You're going to separate the feet away from each other and come into cow face legs on this side. Big deep breath. Soften the upper body, soften the shoulders. Find your happy place here. Release the legs, come back to figure four. Yep. And then lower that foot to the floor. Lower your other foot to the floor. Your legs are still bent. Bring your left knee to your chest. Straighten your right leg along the floor. Take your hands behind your left knee and take that leg up to the ceiling. And just breathe. 1, you're here. 2, you're going to reach for your shin or your ankle or your big toe. Final stretch here. Just getting a nice stretch all along those hamstrings. Soft shoulder. Both knees bend, both knees come to chest. When you're ready, you're going to switch sides. Right leg stays in, left leg goes nice and long. Your hands come behind your knee. You're going to stretch that leg up to the ceiling. And this might be just where you stay. Nice little release, little stretch. Or bend the knee, grab your big toe or your ankle, take that up to the ceiling. Nice long left leg, don't forget about that one. One more deep breath here. Both knees bend, both knees come to chest. And then both legs, both feet to the floor, both legs straight. Finally, Savasana. So if you're in Savasana and you want a blanket over you or a pillow under your head, all of that is just fine. The shoulders go nice and wide. The palms are face up. The legs are relaxed and comfortable. If your lower back is talking to you, just bend your knees. And then feel your breath. Maybe take just 2 of those breaths and do that count, that 4, 7, 8 count that we did in the beginning. Inhaling for 4 and then pausing for 7 and exhaling for 8. And then let that count go if you were doing that. And just breathe. See if you can go softer still. Let your body settle deeply into your mat. Few more breaths. For those of you who are ready, go ahead and start to wiggle your toes, your fingers. And very slowly draw your knees to your chest. Once you're there, roll to one side or the other. And then curl all the way over to fetal pose. From there, press up to your seated pose. Bring your hands to your heart. Bow to your own inner wisdom, inner grace, inner smile. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.